I'm going, oh my God, I'm concerned about our citizens. I carry a gun all the time now. The world is changing rapidly, and not necessarily for the better. The economy is unstable, the government manipulates money, and people are left struggling without proper financial education. My poor dad, a highly educated man with a PhD, believed that degrees and academic achievements were the key to success. But in reality, PhD might as well stand for poor, helpless, and desperate. Education, as it's traditionally structured, doesn't teach you about money. Schools teach obedience, not financial independence. The real world doesn't care about your diplomas. It cares about your ability to generate and manage wealth. While my poor dad followed the traditional path, go to school, get a job, save money, and hope for a pension, my rich dad understood the real game. He taught me that money is not just something you earn, but something you control. He knew that real financial security doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from owning assets that generate passive income.
This is why I don't save money. In 1971, the US dollar stopped being backed by gold, making it fiat currency. Money that only has value because the government says it does. Since then, the Federal Reserve and central banks worldwide have been printing money at an alarming rate, creating debt at levels never seen before. Despite this, schools still teach students to save money, a concept that no longer makes sense. When money is printed endlessly, it loses value. Savers are losers in this system because their hard-earned money depreciates due to inflation. There are three types of people when it comes to money: investors, traders, and speculators. Investors acquire assets that generate long-term wealth. Traders buy and sell assets in hopes of short-term gains. Speculators are gamblers who hope the value of an asset will rise. Most people who jump into cryptocurrencies, meme stocks, or get-rich-quick schemes are speculators. They're not investing, they're gambling. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the US dollar as the global reserve currency, backed by gold.
But in 1971, that all changed when the government removed the gold standard, allowing them to print unlimited money. This shift fundamentally changed how money works. Today, the Federal Reserve prints money, gives it to commercial banks, and they loan it out. However, if a central bank digital currency, CBDC, like FedCoin emerges, banks as we know them may disappear. The government could deposit money directly into people's digital wallets, controlling how, when, and where money is spent. This is not just economics. It's a step toward totalitarianism. Between 1960 and 1980, people distrusted the stock market. But in 1974, the 401k was introduced to encourage Americans to invest in stocks. Then, in 1987, the market crashed, prompting the Federal Reserve to implement what I call the Plunge Protection Team, a mechanism to prevent large crashes. This intervention reassured baby boomers, making them feel safe in the market. But the reality is, 20% of U.S. corporations today are zombie companies, businesses that are only surviving because of government bailouts.
This is not capitalism. This is corporate socialism. Gold, however, remains a safe investment because central banks own it, ensuring its value remains intact. Silver is also becoming more valuable because, unlike gold, it is used up in industries. But cryptocurrencies? That's where it gets tricky. The Federal Reserve and global elites don't want Bitcoin to succeed. If they introduce a central bank digital currency, they can control every financial transaction you make. As an entrepreneur, I don't rely on traditional investment vehicles like 401ks or IRAs. I create my own assets. I borrow money to invest in real estate and businesses, allowing me to pay zero taxes legally. The poor and middle class are stuck in a system where they work hard, pay taxes, and rely on government assistance. Meanwhile, the wealthy use tax laws to their advantage. They don't have jobs. They have assets. The biggest scam in America isn't the stock market, real estate, or even Wall Street. It's student loans. Schools push students into debt, promising good jobs, but graduates are left struggling with massive loans and no financial knowledge. When I returned from Vietnam in 1973, my poor dad told me to get an MBA. My rich dad laughed and said, "That'll just turn you into an employee." Instead, he told me to take a real estate course, because real estate is based on debt, and understanding debt is the key to financial success. During the 2008 financial crash, Banks gave me $300 million tax-free to buy real estate that had lost value. Why? Because I understand the system. The average person thinks the rich are crooks, but in reality, they just play by different rules. Rules anyone can learn if they take the time to educate themselves. Today, we are living in a financial bubble. Stock markets are at all-time highs, floating on fake money. Real estate is unaffordable for most people. Baby boomers are retiring with little to no savings. Social Security is underfunded. Student loans are crushing young people. The government keeps printing money to delay the inevitable crash. But here's the truth. The rich don't work for money. They have money working for them. People who rely on paychecks are the ones being exploited. The system is rigged against them. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Will you continue following the outdated advice of saving money, getting a job, and relying on pensions? Or will you take control of your financial future, educate yourself, and start playing the game the way the wealthy do? Because whether you realize it or not, the greatest wealth transfer in history is happening right now. Robert Kiyosaki has been warning about this for years. The only question left is, will you be a victim of the system, or will you rise above it?